I'm at Electric Cycles in Tempe, Arizona, and I've been unboxing some of their kits. I'm actually showing the same accessories and stuff from the 350, but I got the 500 here. This is their bottom bracket mounted mid-drive motor system, 500 watts. So you're getting extra power, but without getting quite as much weight as the 750. So this is kind of like their in-between model. It goes from $850 up to $1,100, and that really, the price difference there is all about sort of the length of this bottom bracket. One of the really unique things they can do with their e-RAD system here is they custom engineer that piece to fit longer bottom brackets as well as a wider diameter. Okay, so you may have heard of, you know, like the kind of the fat bikes and stuff like we see over here. The bottom bracket there, it's a little bit wider, and so they have to extend that piece so that the pedals clear the chainstays and stuff. And in order to do that, they do that custom engineering with one of their neighboring companies. It's really, really cool. I've got a separate video on that, but that costs a little bit more. So for those extra 200 bucks, you can go up from a 73 millimeter length here, which is what we're looking at stock, up to 100 millimeter. Or if you've got like a Trek or Giant mountain bike and you also need to use like press fit and have a little bit of a wider diameter on that, they can do the BB86, BB90, BB92, and BB95. So it's a really cool option. Definitely differentiates this product from the standard 8Fun, Bafang, BBS01, BBS02, because that's what this is. I mean, this is a Bafang product, but it's like optimized for these guys. It's got different firmware, and the hardware is actually optimized too, because they have a shift sensor, a physical shift sensor that they run in line. So this is like the only product available, the kind of aftermarket that I'm aware of right now in the United States. And they've got like an exclusivity thing for the next 3 years, so like 2018, where they get to do that shift sensor thing. It's actually very cool. Before I get to the full review, I'll try to show it somewhere on the bike here. Maybe there's one that's like hanging. There it is. There's a real clear shot of it. So see that? Inside there's like this like wheel thing, and the wire, they actually, you know, custom cut the sheathing. They start out with a wire, they run it through there, and it runs like over the little cog. So whenever you're shifting gears, it's sensing that, and it tells the motor to stop pulling. And that's important because you might be mashing your gears in the rear, or, you know, pulling on the cassette teeth or the derailleur. You know, that's a lot of sensitive, highly tuned stuff in the back. And when you're working with 350, 500, or 750 watts of power mid-drive, yeah, it's great to leverage that cassette, but you also put increased strain on it. Okay, so being able to have a shift sensor is just awesome. It works great, and that's what really makes these custom. So coming back over here to sort of the unboxing piece, I just wanted to get that out of the way because it's really cool, and it's, I mean, it's totally worth it in my opinion. There, you know, you've got Bosch and Impulse and some of these other higher end mid drives, and this really kind of steps it up to that sort of level and is even more powerful. And it's got the throttle. There's some real benefits to doing something like this, including affordability. Maybe you've got a bike that you just want to convert. You can use a system like this to do it. Okay, so what do you get in the box? I was just opening the box earlier, pulling all this stuff out, and right in here we've got like the button pad, and you've got like the display panel and everything, but you also get some hardware for attaching the chain ring. And this is sort of like a Y bracket for actually mounting the motor. You got some crank arms. Look at that, pretty sweet. Color-coded cables. So each one plugs into different things. This does have brake inhibitors, so when you pull the brakes on these bikes, it cuts off power to the motor. Super great. Here's the levers for that, and these are mechanical. I think you can also get hydraulic and stuff, but mechanical is what comes stock for that base price. And then you've got a twist throttle set up here, but they also have trigger throttles. You can get a trigger for left or the right, or a twist throttle for left or right, and that's great because every bike's a little bit different, and you might also just have a different preference if you're left-handed or right-handed. Here's the stock chainring. You know, it's kind of big, and it's steel, but it does come with this kind of bash guard, which is neat. Another really cool upgrade for the e-RAD system is the ability to get it with like a race face NW. This is a 34 tooth, but they come in a few different sizes. And the narrow wide teeth here, they fit more snugly with the chain, and it prevents chain slip, and it also keeps it from wobbling back and forth, which can lead to dropping your chain. So it's really cool, and they have these custom cut spiders right here, chainring adapters. Very cool, an upgrade option. It costs a little bit extra. And then you have two battery choices. They're both 36 volt for the 500. That's the big difference between 500 and 750. They, of course, this one's more powerful. It runs at 25 amps, whereas the 36 volt 350 watt kit, the entry level from Electric Cycles, that one, it only runs at 18 amps. So 18 to 25, you're getting more power with this. So, and it is physically like a little bit different. It weighs more, and the sort of casing is a little bit wider. I'm gonna go ahead and weigh it while we're at this. Look at that, 9.2, and I think the 350 watt motor was like 8.5 or something, weighed that a little bit earlier. So on to the batteries. They do have two choices here. They're both 36 volt, and you get to choose between a 36 volt 11 amp hour or a 36 volt 14.5 amp hour. And the price difference is $650 for the 11 or $850 for the 14.5. And they do weigh, there is a weight difference. So let's go ahead and do that here. So there's a 3611, 6.8 pounds, or the 14.5, 7 pounds. Yeah, so, it's like kind of a half a pound difference there, 9 pound motor. So you start to get the idea. That's not including all this other hardware here that we just discussed, but there, if you start with a bike, you know how much that weighs, you can kind of figure out how much it's going to weigh once you put this kit on. And having all the weight low and center and just really well balanced, that's one of the big benefits of a mid-drive on any bike, or if you have a rear suspension. So this is actually a really good kit for kind of for off-road. Let's see, somewhere around here they have a full suspension. There it is, look at this. So you can see here, there's the motor and the battery, and it's, it doesn't add any unsprung weight. All the weight is sprung. It's on the main frame. It's better balance, better maneuverability. So that's a real cool upgrade. And if you're riding off-road, you're going to be pedaling, probably going to be using pedal assist, and reducing weight with the 500 watt. Like, that's a really good option for when choosing between their different kits. And of course, the price is a little cheaper than $750. So I just wanted to kind of cover that as some thinking that you might be doing if you're looking at this kit. I think it might be a good opportunity to actually jump over to the bike now and show you one with a 500 watt kit on it. But before I do, these are sort of the old battery style. It's like called the Dolphin case, and it's pretty cool. It's got like a charger port, USB charging port tier 2, so you can charge your electronics, and a little LED power indicator. But they're moving to this new slimmer, more streamlined design. See that? It still has the battery level indicator and charging port and stuff. I didn't see the USB port, so that might be going away. You might be able to request one of these batteries if you feel like you really want that. But definitely like a lower profile. And that's cool because some bikes, this is going to fit more snugly, or just not take up so much space in the in that triangle, and probably keeps the weight closer to the frame. So if you're off-road and there's a lot of bumps and stuff, like it's not hanging off quite as much or protruding. So if we go over to the kit installed, this is what it looks like. It's just on this kind of Electra frame. It's kind of a cantilever, I don't know, it looks like 29er, but the real focus obviously is here. We got the motor mounted right there to the bottom bracket, really nice, and then the old Dolphin style battery pack right there. Looks really good. Again, low centered weight. And we can kind of hop up here to the display panel. So we check that out. This mounts right kind of over the stem, and it connects to the handlebars. I think it could swivel if you didn't over tighten it, but it's not removable or anything, and it's kind of standard, grayscale backlit LCD. It does have a light sensor, which is cool. In order to activate the bike, you have to first press the power button on the battery, which to me is a little bit of a con. It's 2 steps. It's like powered on here, but a lot of bikes kind of do that, and it sort of separates the 2 systems. The batteries inside are lithium ion, and they're Panasonic, and this thing, it's got like 1,000 cycle warranty or 1 year comprehensive for all their stuff. It's a really nice pack. It's definitely high quality stuff inside, and because it's locking and removable, you can charge it off the bike, take it to work if you're commuting, and top it off at the office if you need to, or if it's extreme heat or cold, you know, keep it from kind of heating up or cooling down on the frame. So I really like that. And then being able to, you know, quickly do that power level indicator right here. There we go. You can be inside and ask yourself, have I charged this? Do I need to top it off? There's even a fuse too. So it's a good setup with really good cells inside, and I was able to confirm that earlier. In fact, here's the inside. Look at that. Those are the green Panasonic cells. Lithium, manganese, cobalt. Good stuff. That's what it looks like inside of there. Really nice to see. And their future battery, it's really cool. It's got this like honeycomb cutout thing for cells, so it's even more, I don't know, just rugged. Here's the breakout, kind of a button pad, right? So you can easily reach that while you're riding and adjust. You can arrow up between 0 and 5 in terms of assist, 5 being the highest and most powerful. A lot of times, you know, if you're riding off-road or something, 1 or 2 is pretty good. It's really smooth, and you can always override it with the throttle. So this one, they have a throttle on the right, and you can see that it's kind of kicking when I do that. So it's primed, it's ready to go. Oh, look, the light sensor, you know, went ahead and turned on the backlighting there just a second ago. Hey, let's try this again. Oop, see that? Pretty cool. So we got speed, miles per hour, 5 little battery level indicators, pedal assist, and then some other readouts. If you press to the right on the button pad, it goes from your trip distance to your odometer to your time, and you can hold that to reset it. And then on the left, up top, it goes from average speed, max speed, and then current speed. So that's cool. Really nice little display. You can double click the center and put in a passcode and change the wheel size in here, and you can even kind of upgrade this to be more off-road performance, more than 20 mile per hour top speed. That's one of the, you know, it's kind of an option that's nice to have on a bike like this, but you do that at your own discretion. They kind of give you the information, and then it's up to you to sort of ride responsibly and, you know, and safely. But it's neat to have that, especially if you're, you know, going off-road. A lot of fun. So I think it's probably a good time to go ahead and just take it outside, and I'll show you how it sounds. Here's the motor inhibitor on the brake levers we were talking about. And you know, one of the downsides of any kind of kit like this, even though this is highly optimized and kind of a co-branded kit for e-RAD, is there's just extra cables. You can kind of see them in the front here, a little bit of a mess coming down the bottom, or the down tube, and back to the back. There's the shift sensor on this bike. You can see it right there, that like black notch. And looks like we have an internally geared hub here. So they actually send you a different shift sensor depending on if you have internally geared hub or a cassette or a freewheel. So that's because the cable pulls differently for each system. And it's just highly refined. Like this works really well. It's pretty impressive. So here we go. Heading outside. I think I might just start off in a low pedal assist level and then show you the shifting and try to listen for that shift sensing happening there. I can definitely hear it and feel it. And it's a big benefit. You know, so many times on the BBS01, BBS02, it just feels like it's awesome power, but I worry like how quickly that's going to wear down on the drivetrain of the bike. Go ahead and arrow up to level 5 here and just do throttle and show you what that's like. Cool. Nice and smooth. Okay, and that was in gear 1. So now if I want to go faster, you know, I got to like 16, 17 miles per hour. Go ahead and shift down to gear 3. And now we'll do throttle again. No problem, no problem. We're actually above 20 miles per hour. This might be an unlocked kit. Very cool. And the motor inhibitor is working great. Just a good feeling, and it's pretty responsive. It kind of uses like a motion sensor inside, or I guess kind of a cadence sensor there. As you can see, it's really responsive. soon as I start or stop pedaling, it responds. It's really nice. So I've been a fan of the BBS01, BBS02 for quite some time, but their shortcomings are pretty clear. Lack of the shift sensor ability, and then just a limited range of bikes that they would work on, sort of that like 73 millimeter bottom bracket. And it really feels like Electric Cycles has answered both of those, and really well. Like really, it wasn't just like a cheap solution. This is highly engineered stuff, and the price is still pretty good. So on their website, you can choose between any of the kit sizes that we've been looking at, but you can also get this pre-built into a bike. They've got a great dealer network. It's like 55 dealers in the US right now, not bad at all. And you can go to them and get them to convert your bike, or maybe you're someone who wants to do it yourself, or you're just someone who wants to have it show up like no problem and ready to go. Everything's already installed. And they have options for that. So starting in the like $2,000 price range, you can get some of their bikes pre-built, but of course it goes up, especially for the 500 watt mid-drive kit here, the e-RAD system. So yeah, it's a great overview. I'll have the full review back at the site, and there'll be pictures and all the specs and stuff. If you've got this bike or one of their systems and you want to do a video response, go for it. And otherwise, maybe I'll see you in the forums or something. Ride safe out there.